Komodo dragons are the largest lizards still existing on Earth. Giant hunting machines with bodies over 3 meters long and weights that can exceed 90 kilograms. In the natural world, they are not only at the top of the food chain, but are also a terrifying presence to any creature sharing their territory. From agile deer, muscular wild buffalo to formidable predators like leopards or lions, all must beware of this ancient reptile. What makes the Komodo dragon frightening lies not only in its size or muscular strength, but also in its unique biological weapon, a thick, foul-smelling saliva filled with death. Just a single bite, and that slimy mixture, containing infection-causing bacteria along with toxins that drop blood pressure and prevent clotting, begins its destructive journey inside the victim's body. However, the venom hypothesis of the Komodo dragon is still fiercely opposed by some experts, leading to major scientific debate. So how exactly did the Komodo dragon mislead scientists? Join us as we uncover the fascinating truths behind this creature. To understand why the Komodo dragon became one of the most fearsome predators on the planet, we must return to its origins. A story spanning millions of years, shaped by isolation, harsh evolution, and the mysteries of nature. The Komodo dragon, scientifically known as Varanus komodoensis, belongs to the monitor lizard family, a group of large and highly intelligent reptiles. However, instead of being just another oversized member of its lineage, the Komodo dragon evolved far beyond to become the largest lizard still living on land. With an average length of 2.5 to 3 meters, and exceptional individuals weighing over 100 kilograms. This size is no coincidence. It is the result of hundreds of thousands of years living in isolation, where they had no direct competition. Modern Komodo populations exist only on a few small Indonesian islands: Komodo, Rinca, Flores, Gili Motang, and several nearby places. These islands are dry, sun-scorched, with low and sparse vegetation. The perfect environment for this reptile to carry out silent ambush tactics. Geographical isolation created the perfect stage for evolution to play out in a way unlike anywhere else. Fossil evidence shows that the ancestors of Komodo dragons may have once been giant lizards living in Australia millions of years ago. As these reptile lineages migrated westward, some groups became trapped on Indonesian islands due to changes in sea levels. And here, in an environment with few large predators, abundant prey such as deer, wild boar, and small buffalo, along with stable terrain, the Komodo dragon grew to enormous size, a phenomenon known as island gigantism. However, the Komodo's strength does not come from size alone. This species possesses relatively high intelligence compared to many other reptiles. They remember locations, recognize territories, choose hunting routes, and even coordinate loosely in large hunts. Their sense of smell does not work like that of mammals, but relies on their distinctive forked tongue, constantly flicking to collect scent particles in the air and delivering them to the Jacobson's organ in the palate for analysis. Thanks to this, a Komodo dragon can detect carrion from a distance of up to 8 to 10 kilometers. They are also extremely territorial creatures. An adult male will control a large area, and any intruder, whether another Komodo or a large animal, is considered an opponent. Their behavior blends absolute patience with sudden violence. They may lie motionless for hours under a tree, yet explode with speed when the moment to strike arrives. What is remarkable is that every part of this animal, from its teeth, saliva, muscles, sense of smell to its brain, has evolved for one single purpose: hunting through cruel patience and slow death. Let's begin with the most dangerous element: the teeth. An adult Komodo dragon has over 60 sharp, curved, serrated teeth like metal saw blades. These teeth are designed to tear, not to grip. Each bite of a Komodo is unlike a lion's crushing grip. Instead, it resembles a deep slash from a blade. The frightening part is that Komodo teeth are always filthy. Rotting flesh, meat scraps, blood, and bacteria remain lodged between the serrations, creating a biological mixture that few creatures could survive. Each time a Komodo bites its prey, tiny fragments of its teeth sometimes break off and lodge deep inside the wound. This not only slows healing but becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Not only sharp, these teeth are replaced continuously throughout life, like sharks. Any tooth broken during a hunt is quickly replaced. Thus, Komodo dragons never wear out their weapons as many predators do. But what truly makes Komodo dragons notorious and completely different from other predators is their saliva. From the outside, Komodo saliva is a thick, foamy liquid dripping from the corners of its mouth, enough to make anyone shiver. However, what hides inside it is even more horrifying, a mixture of deadly bacteria and biological toxins. For years, scientists believed the Komodo's power came from the horrific level of bacteria in its mouth, capable of causing sepsis, tissue necrosis, and slow death. But new research shows Komodo dragons do not rely solely on bacteria. They actually possess venom glands deep within their lower jaws. This toxin can severely reduce blood clotting, causing continuous bleeding, lower blood pressure suddenly, and leaving the prey dizzy and unable to fight back. Toxic enzymes further destroy tissue, making wounds even more painful and difficult to heal. This is truly a natural chemical weapon, turning each bite into a death sentence for any unfortunate animal. On the outside, the Komodo dragon's bulky body seems slow and heavy, but this is deceiving. Beneath its rough skin lies a powerful muscular system that allows sudden bursts of speed, letting it dart forward like a living arrow when attacking or chasing. Its tail has enough power to knock down an adult human or break the legs of smaller animals. Its curved, razor-sharp claws help it dig burrows, grip steep terrain, or tear apart prey. Komodo dragons are not endurance animals, but they don't need to be. All their strength is reserved for explosive moments, where a single short bite is enough for them to leave the hunt knowing success is guaranteed. One of the Komodo's most impressive abilities is its sense of smell, though it does not smell with its nose like mammals. Instead, it uses its forked tongue, constantly flicking to gather scent molecules from the air. When the tongue is brought back into the mouth, they use the Jacobson's organ to analyze the chemical information from the environment. This mechanism lets the Komodo detect the smell of blood, carrion, or injured prey from distances of up to 8 to 10 kilometers, an incredible number for a reptile. This helps the Komodo easily locate weakened animals, fresh carcasses, or any hunting opportunity carried by the wind. In a harsh place like the Indonesian islands, tongue-based scent detection is their survival map. The skin of the Komodo dragon is also a masterpiece of evolution. Unlike many lizards with soft skin, Komodos have thick, hardened skin reinforced with tiny bone plates called osteoderms. These resemble prehistoric armor plates, helping Komodos withstand bites, strikes, or claw attacks from enemies, even from their own kind during bloody food disputes. This armor makes Komodos among the few species that can endure heavy injuries and still survive. Not only physically strong, Komodo dragons also possess remarkable intelligence compared to many other reptiles. Studies show they can remember territory locations, distinguish individuals, and choose ambush points based on wind direction and prey movement paths. During large meals, they even exhibit loose forms of cooperation. Not true pack behavior, but enough to show notable cognitive ability. From these traits, the Komodo's hunting strategy becomes both easier and more brutal. A Komodo hunt often begins in total silence. Amid sunburnt grass, cracked rocks, or under acacia shade, a Komodo lies motionless like a living stone. No movement, no unnecessary gestures, no sign it is observing. Timor deer, wild boar, and small buffalo on the island are accustomed to this scenery. This familiarity makes them careless, and that carelessness is exactly what the Komodo awaits. It does not hunt by chase or explosive pounce like leopards. It hunts by letting prey wander into its range little by little. The decisive moment often happens very quickly in just a few seconds. The Komodo chooses the moment when prey is most distracted, lowering its head to drink, turning its ears toward a sound, or when the herd relaxes. At that moment, it lunges with surprising speed for such a large body. But what matters is not the attack. It is the intention. Komodo dragons do not try to kill immediately, they don't need to. A single bite to any area, leg, belly, flank, is enough to begin the cruel choreography nature programmed into its body. Unlike predators that overpower prey with strength, Komodos release their victims immediately after biting. It simply stands still, observing the panicked animal flee. To other animals, escaping the initial bite feels like survival. But in reality, that is only the first step in the Komodo's hours-long, sometimes days-long hunt. What happens after the prey disappears from sight is the most terrifying part of this unique hunting strategy. When the prey begins running, the Komodo follows slowly without needing to run. The island's high temperatures quickly exhaust most mammals over long distances. They need water, shade, and rest. But what flows in their bodies now makes all hope meaningless. With each passing minute, the prey becomes weaker, breathing faster, losing balance. The trail the Komodo follows is not blood or footprints, but the changing scent of the doomed animal. Sweat increases, stress hormones intensify, and then the smell of blood, damaged tissue, and collapse. All blending into a chemical signal the Komodo reads with each flick of its tongue. While the prey struggles to flee, the Komodo simply walks. The prey's circulation begins to fail. It is thirsty but cannot drink because the wound burns. It seeks shelter, but its legs are shaking. Many deer do not even understand what is happening to their bodies. They only know each step feels heavier, and breathing becomes harder. Eventually, when internal collapse reaches its limit, they fall. Sometimes after only a few hours, sometimes 2 days, depending on size and health. This is the moment the Komodo returns. Some witnesses describe its approach to the fallen prey as if it is coming back to harvest rather than fight. It walks slowly, checks if the prey still reacts, then nudges the body gently. If the animal is alive but too weak to rise, the Komodo begins tearing the flesh even while it still breathes. This brutality is not malice. It is simply the method nature chose for a predator that does not need to kill instantly, yet ensures prey never escapes. What makes the Komodo's strategy terrifying is its certainty. Once bitten, the prey has almost no choice but to wait for death, sooner or later. Other animals may rely on strength or speed, but before a Komodo, those only prolong despair by a few hours. This causes the entire ecosystem to operate by a unique logic. Any animal with even a small wound quickly becomes a prime target. As a result, island animals live in constant alert because even a scratch from a branch, a stumble causing bleeding, or a territorial fight leaving a wound can draw multiple Komodos from afar following the scent. One special detail in this reptile's hunting strategy is the unofficial coordination among individuals. Though not pack hunters like wolves or hyenas, Komodos gather quickly when prey begins to weaken. This mechanism is not cooperation but instinctive competition. Each Komodo follows the scent of blood, and when the prey collapses, they all arrive at once. Escaping one Komodo is difficult. Escaping 3 or 4 is impossible. Those that arrive later do not wait for the first to finish. They rush in and tear off chunks of flesh. That feast usually unfolds in utter chaos, filled with hissing sounds, cracking bones, and primal gulping. When the prey is completely dead, the Komodo begins feeding with remarkable efficiency. They do not eat slowly, but tear into large chunks of flesh. Their throats and esophagi can expand in astonishing ways, allowing them to swallow pieces of meat nearly the size of a ball. An adult Komodo can consume an amount of food equal to 80% of its body weight in a single meal. This gives them a tremendous advantage in environments where food sources are not always abundant. They can gorge themselves once and then survive for many weeks without hunting again. Not only that, the brutality of the Komodo dragon extends even into reproduction. The reproductive behavior of Komodo dragons bears the evolutionary imprint of a species shaped by isolation. Unlike most mammals that live in groups, Komodos are solitary. They almost never interact unless for food or for mating. The mating season begins when the early year heat spreads across the Indonesian islands. Instead of courting or showing affection, male Komodos hurl themselves into fierce battles for the right to approach the female. These fights do not involve the roaring of lions or the rapid agility of big cats. Instead, Two massive bodies rear up on their hind legs, intertwining and wrestling amid clouds of dust. They use their body weight to slam opponents and their claws and muscle strength to overpower challengers. Each fight can last several minutes, sometimes drawing blood, and only ends when one is pinned to the ground. The female does not intervene. She simply stands at a distance watching and chooses the victor, the strongest, the fiercest, or simply the most persistent. When mating occurs, the violence does not stop. The male bites the female's neck or shoulders to hold her in place. For other creatures, this might be dangerous, but for Komodos, it is how they maintain stability throughout the process. Their massive bodies and brute strength turn reproduction into a strange struggle in which both must keep their balance and hold on to each other to complete the instinctive act. After mating, the female departs and immediately begins a months-long journey to protect the next generation. Few people know that female Komodos have an extremely complex nesting instinct. They carefully choose mounds or deep pits, sometimes taking over abandoned nests of mallee fowl or other burrowing birds. Then they dig multiple decoy holes around the nest to mislead predators. This intelligence and strategy are especially important because nearly every creature on the island, including adult Komodos, will eat eggs if they find them. A Komodo nest can contain 15 to 30 eggs, but the number that survives to adulthood is incredibly small. The strangest aspect of Komodo reproduction is not the violent mating behavior, but their ability to reproduce without males. When isolated or lacking mates, a female Komodo can produce embryos carrying only her genetic material, a phenomenon known as parthenogenesis. Interestingly, all embryos created this way become males. This is no coincidence, but a sophisticated evolutionary strategy. When a lone female arrives in a new land, she can single-handedly establish a population, and the male offspring then form the foundation for future generations. Few large reptiles possess this biological ability, making Komodos one of the most capable species in nature when it comes to establishing new populations. Even when the eggs hatch, the survival journey of the young Komodo has only just begun. These tiny creatures hatch at just slightly larger than a chopstick, weak and completely vulnerable to predators such as birds, snakes, and even adult Komodos. To survive, they must climb trees, places adult Komodos are too heavy to reach. They spend nearly their entire childhood in the treetops, eating insects, small lizards, and bird eggs. Only after several years, when their bodies grow large enough to defend themselves, do they dare descend to the ground and truly join the brutal world below. The Komodo dragon is not only the largest species in the monitor lizard family, but also one of the last reptiles with the form of the dinosaur era. While most giant creatures went extinct tens of millions of years ago, the Komodo survived, continued to evolve, and still stands atop the food chain of its isolated islands. The reason for this endurance lies in the combination of a unique environment and extraordinary adaptability. The islands where Komodos live are nearly completely free of competition from large predators. No tigers, no leopards, no jackals. In this world without rivals, the Komodo dragon became the absolute ruler. Geographical isolation turned the ecosystem into a separate machine, where even small shifts created strong evolutionary pressures. Komodos benefited from this because they did not need to compete with large carnivores, allowing them to maintain their enormous size without fear of being hunted. Not only that, the Indonesian islands have harsh climates, long dry seasons, and unpredictable food availability. These conditions unintentionally filtered out species that could not adapt while preserving those with exceptional survival strategies. And the Komodo is the perfect example. Their ability to consume huge amounts of food and then fast for weeks, detect carcasses from afar, and reproduce through parthenogenesis allowed them to endure hardships that many species could not. Although Komodo dragons are symbols of reptilian power, the ironic truth is that they now face a severe but little recognized decline, a creature that survived catastrophic geological events throughout Earth's history. From ice ages to sea level changes and millions of years of climate shifts, may now be driven to the brink of extinction by human activities within a shockingly short period. After millions of years existing in isolation, Komodos are now confronted with changes happening too quickly for evolution to keep up. The greatest threat to Komodos is not natural predators, but habitat loss. Small islands like Komodo, Rinca, and Flores already had limited areas, but humans have altered them to meet the demands of tourism development, infrastructure expansion, and resource extraction. Shrub forests, where Komodos hide, hunt, and lay eggs, are increasingly encroached upon. When habitats are fragmented, Komodo populations become divided, making mating and gene exchange more difficult. This can lead to declining population health, producing weaker generations with reduced resistance to disease. Climate change also plays a major role in their decline. The islands where Komodos live already have long dry seasons, but abnormal weather continues to raise temperatures and reduce natural water sources. These changes directly affect prey such as Timor deer, wild boar, and small buffalo. When prey decreases, Komodos struggle to maintain adequate food supplies. Additionally, rising temperatures affect egg incubation ratios. Komodos have a temperature-dependent sex determination system. Excessive heat can create gender imbalance, reducing the number of males or females in future generations. A serious issue for a low-density species. Sadly, Komodos have also become victims of the fascination they evoke. Every year, tens of thousands of tourists from around the world visit Komodo National Park to see this prehistoric monster in person. Although tourism brings important revenue to Indonesia, excessive visitor numbers can disrupt Komodo behavior, causing them to change their travel routes and avoid areas that were once preferred hunting grounds. Some careless tourists even tried to provoke or approach them too closely, making Komodos stressed and more defensive, posing danger to both humans and animals. Fortunately, growing awareness of these threats has led to the implementation of numerous conservation programs. The Indonesian government established Komodo National Park, a strictly protected area where hunting, deforestation, and resource exploitation are tightly controlled. Biologists and conservation experts monitor individual Komodos to better understand their density, behavior, and ecological needs. Many community education programs have been introduced to help local residents understand that protecting Komodos means protecting tourism revenue and the nation's unique natural heritage. Some projects now use GPS tracking to determine movement ranges of individual Komodos, helping researchers detect abnormal behavioral changes. Many areas on the islands have been restored with natural vegetation, giving Komodos safer nesting environments. These efforts, though encouraging, are still not enough to secure the species' long-term future. The battle to conserve Komodos continues every day, every hour. Because this giant reptile grows slowly, reproduces with difficulty, and is extremely sensitive to environmental changes. If you found this journey of discovering the Komodo dragon, one of the most fearsome and bizarre creatures on the planet, truly fascinating, don't forget to leave a like so the video can reach more science and nature lovers. And if you want to continue accompanying me on expeditions into the wild, exploring strange animals, unbelievable natural phenomena, and mysteries yet unsolved, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every like and every subscribe you give is motivation for me to keep creating higher quality, deeper, and more engaging documentary videos. Thank you for watching until the end. See you on the next journey.